Zarath pressed her six-fingered hands against the smooth metal armrests of her mobility chair, watching through the observation deck's reinforced transparasteel as another transport ship docked with Kepler Station. The Vorthan engineer had grown accustomed to this view over the past 15 years. Ships arriving, crews disembarking, life continuing around her while she remained stationary. The accident that had severed her spinal neural pathways during a reactor core breach had ended more than just her ability to walk. On Vorth Prime, those who couldn't contribute physically to society were quietly relegated to administrative roles, forgotten in the shadows of a civilization that prized strength and mobility above all else. When the Galactic Council had offered her a position on this remote research station, she had accepted immediately, knowing it was likely her only chance to remain useful. "Another human vessel," muttered Kethmore, her Gelthan colleague, his 4 eyes tracking the docking procedure with obvious disdain. Why the Council continues to allow these primitives into civilized space is beyond comprehension. Zarath said nothing, though she'd observed the humans with growing curiosity over the months. Unlike other species, they never seemed to dismiss her or speak around her as if she weren't present. The human researchers actually sought her input, valued her engineering expertise, and treated her as an equal regardless of her physical limitations. The station's comm system crackled to life. "All department heads to Conference Bay 7. Priority briefing regarding Project Restoration." As Zarath maneuvered her chair through the corridors, she noticed an unusual amount of activity. Human crew. Members were wheeling in equipment she didn't recognize. Sleek, sophisticated devices that seemed far beyond what their supposedly primitive technology should produce. In the conference bay, she positioned herself at the back, as had become her habit. To her surprise, Dr. Sarah Chen, the human expedition leader, gestured for her to move forward. "Zarath, we'll need you up front for this presentation," Dr. Chen said, her tone matter-of-fact. The Vorthan engineer felt her respiratory slits flutter with confusion, but complied. Around the room, representatives from various species watched, with varying degrees of interest and skepticism. Dr. Chen activated the holographic projector. "For the past 18 months, our team has been developing advanced prosthetic neural interfaces. We call it Project Restoration." The hologram displayed a complex schematic of what appeared to be synthetic limbs integrated with neural mapping technology. "The initial trials on human subjects have exceeded all expectations," Dr. Chen continued. "These devices don't simply replace lost function, they enhance it. The user gains strength, speed, and sensory feedback that surpasses organic limitations." Kethmore's eye stalks swiveled dismissively. "Impressive claims from a species that has barely achieved interstellar flight." Dr. Chen's expression remained neutral. "We believe in practical demonstration over theoretical discussion." She turned to Zarath. "Which is why we'd like to offer you the first interspecies trial of this technology." The conference bay fell silent. Zarath felt her heart's dual chambers hammering against her chest plate. You want to experiment on me?" "We want to give you back your legs," Dr. Chen said simply, "but only if you're willing." Over the following weeks, Zarath underwent extensive consultations with the human medical team. Dr. James Martinez, the lead biomechanical engineer, explained the procedure with patience and detail that impressed her. Unlike Vorthan medical professionals who often spoke in condescending terms about her condition, the humans treated her as a collaborating partner in her own treatment. "The neural interface maps directly to your existing spinal pathways," Dr. Martinez explained, gesturing to the holographic display of her anatomy. "We've spent months studying Vorthan physiology to ensure compatibility. The legs themselves are constructed from a titanium polymer composite that's actually lighter than bone but exponentially stronger. The surgery took 14 hours. When Zarath awakened, she felt different, not just physically but mentally. There was a new awareness, a connection to something beyond her organic form. "Try to wiggle your toes," Dr. Chen suggested gently. Zareth looked down at the sleek, articulated limbs where her legs should be. They were beautiful in their functionality, silver and black with subtle LED indicators along the joint lines. She concentrated, and to her amazement, 10 synthetic digits moved in perfect response to her thoughts. The rehabilitation process revealed the true extent of human innovation. These weren't merely replacement limbs, they were upgrades. Zareth discovered she could leap nearly 3 meters vertically, run at speeds that would challenge most vehicles, and perceive vibrations through the ground that her organic legs had never detected. But more than the physical transformation, it was the human's attitude that truly changed her perspective. They didn't see her as fixed or repaired. They saw her as enhanced, evolved, improved. 6 months later, Zareth stood in the same observation deck where she'd spent so many years watching ships arrive. But now she stood on legs of human engineering, her new capabilities allowing her to work in zero-gravity environments, to serve as the station's primary external maintenance specialist, to contribute in ways she'd never imagined possible. Kethmore approached, his multiple eyes showing an emotion she'd rarely seen from him: respect. "The humans," he said slowly, "perhaps we have underestimated them." Zareth smiled, feeling the subtle servo whir of her legs adjusting to maintain perfect balance. "They don't see limitations," she replied. "They see possibilities." Through the Transperistile, another human ship was docking, carrying more of their remarkable technology, their stubborn refusal to accept that anything was impossible, their peculiar habit of lifting others up rather than leaving them behind. For the first time in 15 years, Zareth felt truly grateful to be exactly where she was, standing tall on legs that represented not just human engineering, but human compassion. In a galaxy where most species wrote off their disabled as burdens, humanity had looked at her and seen potential. That, she realized, was perhaps their greatest strength of all.